Coverage of the Community Super League. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon, the Spider Smasher himself. Paul, what's up, buddy?
Yes, smash. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. As I told you, on the Twitter, I am the resident bug smasher in the house. Even when I lived with grown 25-year-old men, when I had roommates, they were all afraid of spiders, and I had to be the one to extinguish the spider. So I knew the matchup pretty well.
That skill came in handy today in our match. But so we're going to be watching though. Loading Ready Run.
Right.
And they're playing up against the girlfriend bracket. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
All right. So why don't we start to take a look at what a few of our matchups look like here? Because, well, these get a little weird, right? like ours comparatively looks tame compared to what we saw like just last round from Gabby and Kenji.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous that they were able to, like Gabby, for example, was able to make a playable, aggressive deck that also had a ton of flavor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That is a very tough balance to hit, and she hit it really hard. And Kenji's deck, come on.
Well, Kenji's deck was just straight up sweet. You know,
yeah,
I like
and
the
he
flavor.
Really committed to the bid to the bit too.
Yeah. And I also like the fact that Gabby was like, this is a Triskaidekaphobia deck, so I'm gonna try to kill you with Triskaidekaphobia, even though she could have just killed Kenji game 2 without the enchantment.
Yeah, I ended up losing as a result, but much to the benefit of us, the viewers, because that was really fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, flipping over your whole deck. Can you imagine just doing that in real life?
Yeah, that was insane, and also it's really funny to do it on Magic Online because of all the triggers.
It's a much bigger pain to do it on Magic Online than it is in real life.
I think he's going to need a new, maybe a bigger monitor if he wants to keep playing that deck.
Yeah, it was kind of lagging a little.
Why don't we take a look at the deck list here, though, if we have them. There we go. Take a look at the girlfriend bracket deck of Saint Traft here.
Deck of Saint Traft. So this looks a lot like. Similar to kind of the Pro Tour Spirits deck, you have like your Geist of Saint Traft, you have your hexproof creatures, and then you have a lot of ways to make your hexproof creatures really big. This actually feels like a real deck if you look at it.
It kind of does. There's some equipment sub themes going on here, but there's no real. Is this deck sweet?
Well, there is one sweet thing about the deck, and that is putting Invocation of Saint Traft on a Geist of Saint Traft.
Oh man!
All right,
Angel Assault.
Exactly. So if there's one super sweet thing about it, it's to getting them with the Geist into double 4/4 for Flying Angels.
Okay. Well, you guys can. So I also want to remind you, by the way, as you take a look at the rest of the list here from the girlfriend bracket, you can vote. You can actually put in your 2 cents on what you think was the sweetest deck or the most flavorful deck, however you want to. Frame it. And if you go in the chat, you'll see that there's a link that pops up, and you can, bring it up with exclamation point vote, and then you'll see a link, and you can actually go in and grade the decks that we've seen here. So we haven't seen all of them for the evening yet. There's still a few more to come. But you can do that, and it's actually pretty cool. They're going to be keeping track of it for the duration of the rest of the CSL, and I know there's prizes or something at the end for the person who brings the most flavorful deck. It's not just about winning here on the CSL, even though I think, Paul, you and I...
I mean, you had a sweet deck. I think, honestly, I'm kind of looked as the resident Spike. So I was, obviously, I just wanted to play the deck. And, I also just want to say, despite the fact that it won the Pro Tour, none of Alex Haynes' teammates actually won a match with that deck. And Haynes' record at the Pro Tour was 6-4 in constructed, which was by far the best constructed record with that deck.
Yeah, but that deck was not as good as advertised for sure.
No.
Let's take a look at Loading Ready Run. We know they had.
Okay, yeah. Should we go through? Should we go through each card?
Yeah. So this is what we'll do, Paul. Is when the cards are played, we will judge them based on their hat.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yes, we'll grade their hats for sure. Oh, man. They all kind of have a similar style, right? It's all the like.
Well, so the interesting part is that on the plate of Innistrad, at the time when all of the big action was going down with Avacyn and all that, hats were very in. I mean, everybody was wearing hats. It was like the 20s, right? It was just hats.
Yeah.
But you know who wears the most hats? Humans.
Yeah.
So it's all about the hat.
Yeah, so if you look at this deck and you look at all the creatures, it's basically a singleton humans deck. There are a few spirits actually. Because I actually checked all the creatures. Some of them are actually spirits, but they used to be human, so they still have the hat. and
Oh, so your hat goes with you to the afterlife. Oh,
apparently,
okay.
but I mean, this deck. You know how like LRR has a bunch of people. I wonder like who had to actually type out the deck list for this.
Yeah, no
Did they
kidding.
flip a coin? Like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, man. I picked out the hats. You guys have to type this out. 'Cause-
Oh man. You know, some of my favorite ones here, by the way, are actually not humans or even creatures. One of them is Saving Grasp, which has a guy who's falling off of a cliff, and his hat is actually off but falling down behind him. I love that one. And then
that is
I,
going deep. That's like
yeah,
you're looking at every single card and
well,
looking at all the hats.
I may have done a hat draft or two in my day with Loading Ready Run.
Okay. So this is not like just something that came out of the blue. This
No,
is
no, no.
they're known for their affection of hats.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. And then the sickest hat tech that we've seen, well, out of the new set at all, has to be Gone Missing, right? It's literally just
Just a hat.
a hat. Yeah. It's like, it's not even encumbered by dirt. It's a floating hat. That's it.
It is just is it just floating or is it just like in water?
Yeah, it's just
Something
sitting
like
on top of the
yeah.
water. Yeah, it's just that's it. So that it's to make sure that
This is great.
compositionally, from an artistic perspective,
Yeah.
this picture is just about the hat. There's nothing else with it. So
And also, just so you know, when we rank the hats of these cards, LSV is not allowed to judge Civilized Scholar.
no, no, absolutely not.
No, of
Under
course
no
not. Yeah.
circumstance. Does Angelic Overseer actually have? I'm checking this right now. By the way, is she wearing a hat?
I'm assuming, like,
It's a
I'm assuming
random-
everything has to have a hat.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a helmet, but I think there's like a person donning a hat maybe in the foreground or something. But anyway, so this should be interesting to watch. We've got singleton hats. So they went through the whole set and picked off probably most or all of the cards that featured a hat in any capacity, including one falling into the water, and then
Yeah.
beautiful cycle of showing. Like if they play Gone Miss or Saving Grasp into Gone Missing, it's just like this, like the hat's falling into the water, and then you get the shot of the hat in the water. Like I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna be able to handle that. And I haven't voted. I don't know if I'm allowed to vote. Obviously, I can't vote for myself. But if they pull that off, and I'm allowed to vote, I'm gonna give them the highest marks
So
possible.
are we also voting based on how they play their match too? Does that factor into the voting?
I think it has to, right? Like when I think about Gabby building that deck, if I looked at it on paper, I would have thought, okay, that's cool, and all the 13s is cool, but what if she just kills people by just running them over? But then having watched her play,
Right.
I would have said, no, she's committed to this, right? The
Yeah.
triskaidekaphobia is a central part of how she plays the deck and how she built it, and I would give her more points.
Right. There's definitely a rule. When you're playing a Triskaidekaphobia deck and you have it in your hand, you have to play to it. You know, if you can.
must.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if that card's name is in the title, right? So that's the thing. When it comes to the girlfriend bracket side of the table, I don't know how do they get bonus points for playing that? I guess putting
It looks just like it looks
Vacation
like
of
a
Saint Draft is a thing.
it looks like a block constructed Boggles deck almost. You have all your hexproof creatures. I mean, all I know is it's going to be a gigantic headache to play against.
Yes, and
But at least LR came with a bunch of hats.
it did. They've got a lot of hats, but I don't know that they have a lot of interaction.
No, probably. I mean, everything has hexproof, so what are you gonna do? I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, all they're gonna have to do is just hope to get an aggressive draw. It is kind of like a humans deck, so just kind of curve out and beat down.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a pretty wide range of possibilities there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we're ready. Let's head down to the feature match here for the fourth round here from the Community Super League. All right, welcome to the Community Super League. We've got the girlfriend bracket on the top side playing Deck of Saint Traft, and on the bottom, Loading Ready Run playing Singleton Hats. And yes, that is exactly what you think it is. All the cards in the deck outside of the basics are Singleton, and every card has a hat represented in some way.
Yeah, and it looks like they have the champion of the parish. One thing that we were talking about when we were kind of trying to brew our decks, Randy was a little bit concerned that the humans deck was a little too busted. So it's like, please
Yeah.
maybe try to refrain from building this insane human deck. So but there's only one copy of champion of the parish in all the 10 decks that are represented here.
And this is it.
But you drew it. You still play one. You can still draw it. Yeah.
Now, do you have a problem with the land there? Like, Cavern of Souls, is that? I don't think there's a hat on there, is there?
You know what? Yes, it does not. I guess
Wow.
it's a utility. I know.
That's disappointing.
That is that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez. Oh, this could get good.
All right, so it looks like loading ready to run. They just topped the Gather the Townsfolk, which puts 2 human tokens onto the battlefield, which means they can attack for 3 on turn 2. It's a 1-mana 3/3.
Holy crap. Wow. This is actually one of the ways that loading ready run can get ahead, right? Because they can't really interact with what the girlfriend bracket's doing, but their strategy is a little slow, right? It takes a little while to get set up. Uh-oh, now that I say that.
Yeah, I mean, the girlfriend bracket's also kind of living the dream. They basically have an unblockable Geist of Saint Traft here. They put Invocation of Saint Traft onto an Invisible Stalker. Effectively, for those of you guys who don't know, Invocation of Saint Traft is a creature enchantment. When you put it onto a creature and that creature attacks, you put a 4/4 angel token that comes into play attacking. And then it gets exiled. What is that card that they drew?
Oh, that the one that gives like creatures -4/-0 until end of turn. I actually don't remember what it's called. Hysterical blindness.
I was going to say blind hysteria, but yes, that hysterical blindness. Yes, that's the.
Wow, this really turned into a bit of a slugfest here, didn't it, Paul? They're just now outright racing each other.
It is a race, and it's kind of cool. You're at least getting to see kind of what both decks are trying to do, and they're both getting there, right? The Hat Singleton deck is getting an aggressive start, and then you have this hexproof deck that's drawing one of his creatures and just kind of putting everything, all the eggs into one basket.
Was that a curiosity there from the girlfriend bracket?
Believe it was.
Yeah, it looks like it, which is not going to increase the clock at all, and they do not win this race currently, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, they do. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
They have a feeling of dread.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, and they hit Geist. Can't cast it here, though. Yeah, they win this race quite easily if you factor in the feeling of dread.
But keep in mind, loading ready run does have hysterical blindness. If they draw an island,
yes,
they might swing the race back the other way, but they need to draw an island. Oh, was that a Thalia's lieutenant?
Yes, that was Thalia's lieutenant. So this board has gotten huge, but the girlfriend bracket can just use the feeling of dread here. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to actually kill loading ready run.
Right. They can put a Spectral Flight on the Invisible Stalker and get in for 7 damage, it looks like.
Which is just short, which means that island actually could be live here for loading ready run.
I really want to see loading ready run draw island, just because I want to see a game determined by hysterical blindness.
Yeah, great hat in that card, by the way. Really good.
Yeah.
So I know that loading ready run is being piloted tonight by James and Cam.
Okay.
I'm not sure who from the girlfriend bracket is playing. I think that all 4 of them play it generally.
They're like all on Skype, maybe?
Yeah, they get on Skype together and play, and so that they can,
It's like, should we put more things on this Invisible Stalker? No. Let's chill out for a little bit and see what else we can. Whoa, Butcher's Cleaver.
I just had like a bad flashback, Paul. They have Invisible Stalker Butcher's Cleaver in their hand, and it just makes me feel weird. But
yeah, that was no land
and no third land at all for loading ready run.
Yeah.
And I mean, I gotta say, look at this board state. That's a 6/6 right there. This is off of 2 lands, and it just wasn't quick enough for them.
I mean, if you look, loading ready run had like a standard start. This is something you can see in standard constructed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the girlfriend bracket also did something pretty absurd. Invisible Stalker into turn 3, get you.
Well, and the crazy part is that without feeling of dread, they would have won.
Yeah, I mean, Feeling of Dread has won a Pro Tour, and it's gonna win this game for sure.
Yeah, it's insane because like that card really was the huge difference maker here for the girlfriend bracket. They needed both, halves of Feeling of Dread to be able to get it.
Yeah, yeah. It
And,
looks
and
like.
they're going to go down to 3 and then just attack for the win here.
You think they're just going to put both of the Spectral flights on there?
You
No.
know what's really sad is that loading ready run doesn't even have enough mana to tap concede.
Doesn't even have what?
Enough mana to tap concede. That's the name of their podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, they love to when they're facing lethal, they'll tap 2 lands and then scoop, just to put the fear in you.
Right.
All right, so game 1 goes to the girlfriend bracket with their deck of Saint Traft.
Yes.
The hats were not quite good enough, but close.
They have to have a ton of options, though. They have a 15-card singleton sideboard, so that's a lot of options.
Dude, Paul.
Yeah.
The chat just broke it.
Okay.
They said this match is hats versus pants.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Who came up with that one? That was a good one.
That was a crash down reg, and I got
Okay.
to say, mad props. That's great.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't get the joke, if you it is a bit of pretty deep magic slang. Why don't you tell them what pants is?
Yeah, so pants is basically, when you kind of go all in on a hexproof creature, meaning that your opponents can't do anything onto your creature, so you're making them larger and larger and larger, and you're putting basically pants onto one of your creatures. You're equipping them or putting auras onto them. And
Yeah, I usually think of auras, right? Like I think
Auras.
of like Rancor, like cards like that. Hey, put some pants on that guy.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, I feel like if you're trying to build a singleton block constructed deck, when you're building a sideboard, you probably are just like out of cards.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because I'm just watching Loading Ready run on the left side of your screen. They're just sort of fiddle through their sideboard, and every card has a hat. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like
you have to.
legit.
You got to follow the flavor.
Yeah, I mean they never ran out. It's crazy.
Well, fortunately, yeah, hats is a pretty viable strategy in Avacyn, or sorry, in Innistrad.
Oh, by the way, both Dave Williams and Efro are saying that pants has to increase toughness.
I mean, it does make
Okay.
the posterior larger. So
Yes,
yes, you have to make the creatures hella tough. So
indeed.
yeah.
All right, let's take a look at what we've got here for our players' opening hands.
It looks like the girlfriend bracket just has a hand of mostly creatures. Maybe not enough pants.
Yeah, lack of pants. That works.
And the loading ready run people have, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even know what all these creatures do.
Well, you don't have to figure it out because they just mulliganed anyway. And
They mulliganed to
unfortunately for loading
6
ready
land?
run, they're going to mulligan another time here. Oh, no.
God.
Oh, not like
Not-
this.
Not like this.
Oh, no. Mulligan
Okay.
into 4.
Here we go.
They
All right.
did it.
All right. It's
They
a
have
keeper.
Oh, no. All right, Evolving Wilds is going to kick things off for LRR. Now,
They have
this
10
is a pretty decent little draw here for the girlfriend bracket. They do need to find a couple more lands to make it actually good, though.
Yeah, that's like LRR's main path to victory here. Ooh.
Well, a turn late, but that does give them some...
This is where you have to
Some
type in had it, and just,
Cute. I like it. That's a tandem lookout, by the way, in their hand. Guy in a tree with a hat. And there's also the shadow of another person in a tree also wearing a hat.
you are very well versed.
Yeah,
in
I'm all over the hat draft.
on the hats.
This could actually be huge because what they're going to do here is they're going to pair up Tandem Lookout, which is a human, with the champion, and get in there and draw a card. This is the Ophidian Soulbound.
This is a pretty ideal start. The girlfriend bracket has to draw a land here, I think.
Yeah, this is massive. There's no way they're actually going to win on a turn to 4 on a.
Oh, no land!
Oh
no
my
land!
goodness.
The
Their only
dream!
play is another Invisible Stalker.
The improbable dream. We might see another game with the hats.
They're going to attack with this too.
Yeah.
So that means that the champion gets to get in there again.
Yeah, and they're gonna draw so many cards.
I mean, they're probably only going to be able to attack with the champion realistically.
Yeah, yeah. Does Moreland Hunt make
It makes
humans?
spirits.
Do the spirits have hats?
No.
This is very important. This is the
Yeah,
most
they
important question.
slipped a little on the lands, I think.
At least Westvale Abbey makes clerics.
Oh, they don't have a land yet, but Abyssinian Missionaries is going to be bigger than everything else on the battlefield, at least for now.
Hats. Do they have equipment? There has to be like an equipment hat, right? Like you put on the hat and like you get really strong.
So Graham is telling me, by the way, Graham helped design the deck. He's not playing it tonight, but he says they have a self-imposed rule that they can only use Westvale Abbey to make tokens because they do have hats, but they cannot summon Ormondal because he is not wearing a hat.
That is pretty great. But how does that explain Moreland Hunt? How does that explain Moreland Hunt?
Yeah, well, he's listening, so he'll let me know. Oh, by the way, this is an aggressive attack from the girlfriend bracket. It looks like they're going to use the Feeling of Dread here, Paul, because you'd think you'd want to leave back one of those 1/1s to block the lookout, but
yeah, it looks like they don't want LRR to draw any more cards here.
Yeah,
but I mean, they are firmly ahead at this point. I don't even know if the girlfriend bracket draws lands. Yeah, I think it is. This has been absurd.
This is insane. They're on a mulligan to 4.
It was a mulligan to 4. They hit
the land. Girlfriend bracket hit the land. So, one thing, there is a Butcher's Cleaver there.
That does help swing. That does help to swing the race. So
it feels like they're a little too far behind for it, though.
So the Butcher's Cleaver, it gives lifelink if it's on a human, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Invisible Stalkers are both human, so
yeah, that
is kind of one of their core combos. That is a real thing.
Well, but if you put the Cleaver on one of your humans, and then you can play Audric. If you survive, then all your creatures get lifelink.
That's true. As
well.
Yeah, Geist of St. Treff, not a human.
Right. This is a lot of pressure, though.
It kind of feels like it's too late, but
yeah.
Like, are they going to start chump blocking? Are they going to trade off Geist of St. Treff, for? Well, I guess they don't really have any good blocks at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those Invisible Stalkers definitely need some pants because right now,
yes,
they are not getting a whole lot done.
They need some big boy pants, and it does not look like it's going to happen here.
I guess maybe you can put a Spectral Flight on one of them. You can block 2 of the creatures.
Putting a Spectral Flight on, yeah, it just doesn't give you good blocks. It's so awkward that... Oh, wow. This is impressive. Hello.
Wow.
That might actually just be the game. Like, that attack. So their plan is to flashback Feeling of Dread here.
Yeah.
But they're still giving up, like, at least 4 damage, if not 5, by attacking.
I do appreciate, though, how much the girlfriend bracket hates giving the other opponent value. It's like, no matter what, I don't care. You are not drawing cards on me.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
All right, Invisible Stalker.
Yeah.
They decided to play it post-combat, which was clever because it did give them a blocker that can't block anyway.
Yeah, but if the girlfriend bracket didn't flash back the Feeling of Dread, they could have drawn maybe a better creature.
Yeah, it could have been a mistake there.
All right, and yeah, the girlfriend bracket,
they're
out of trouble. I think, yeah.
They hit a land so they can play an Odric here, but so what?
Then everything has hexproof?
Yeah, at the beginning of combat.
Yeah. So I guess that can at least block 2 of the creatures. Are they going to just continue attacking with these Invisible Stalkers?
I think if they do,
I know they're unblockable, but
white flag. All right, they're finally going to not.
Ooh, for the race too?
Yeah, wow. This was on a mulligan to 4.
Yes. Well, they've just drawn something good every turn.
But I mean, it's so difficult to win on a mull to 4.
Oh yeah.
And they were on the play, too. It's just insane. Near Heath Pilgrim, broop, everybody gets leveled up.
Yeah. Soulbound. Going to gain 5 life.
Bond.
Soul,
If you say bound,
soul,
I'll start saying bound.
oh, Soul Bond.
Yeah. My first Pro Tour doing commentary, Paul, was during when Avison Restored was out.
Oh, okay.
I had to remember every time to not say soul bound because that's what I wanted to say.
Oh, sure. Okay, I see.
All right, so they're going to attack with just the big stuff here.
Right. Oh, Odric triggers on
They're both attacks, yeah.
both combat phases? Okay.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a trade, and then they're going to take a small hit of 1 damage, but as you can see, the girlfriend brackets board has been whittled down significantly here.
Yeah.
Can they do anything?
They can play another Odric.
They can play an Odric, and then what happens? If they get attacked with by everything, they can chump block, eat a 2-powered thing, take 5, and go to 2.
And then maybe draw a land and Butcher's Cleaver.
Yeah, that's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get a few.
Whoa! Slaves!
There's some pants. Oh, man, they brought the whole outfit. They've got.
Yeah, I mean. That's a pretty nice hat. That might be one of the best hats I've seen.
Agreed. Put it on this guy, and that's going to be game. They can just attack with everything now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like, though, when you put the Slayer's Plate on an invisible stalker, he's no longer invisible.
Yeah, well,
right?
that was the problem with the cleaver, too. You just see this cleaver coming at you, and it's
that is pretty scary, though.
Yeah, it is. Wow, looks like the girlfriend bracket's going to have to tip their hat to Loading Ready Run for this game. And we get a game 3. I can't believe it. When I saw the mulligan to 4, I thought, well, this is done. And it took some good luck. That does have to happen, right? We saw that the girlfriend bracket stumbled on their mana for multiple turns. And, Loading Ready Run needed most of those turns to make that work. But,
yeah.
Wow.
So I imagine Loading Ready Run is just taking out any creature that, targets, any type of removal.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But, I'm looking at their sideboard, and it's just... Paranoid Perish Blade. There's no way to get Delirium. It's like they must have hats. What are the marginal playable cards with hats?
Oh man.
What if they submitted a 72 card deck? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Sorry guys, we just ran out of hats. I mean, there were just there's just 3 black cards. Just creatures.
That's legal. I mean, Gabby had a 13 card sideboard in her Triskaidekaphobia deck.
Oh yeah, she did. She did. Right.
I do admire them for keeping the Gone Missing in thus far, as it is the best hat card in their deck.
They have it highlighted and everything. They're like, check this out. It's just a hat.
I would love to hear what this conversation is like. What are they? Is this strategic? Are they talking about
No. Maybe they're just looking at the nicest hats and I think this one's a little bit better. Just oh man.
Oh man, that's what I think they're talking about.
Ooh, look at a last minute swap.
All right, but Gone Missing stayed in.
Yeah, of course. You
can't take that one out. True to form. Yeah, you can't undo that. All right, game 3. This is going to be exciting.
Oh, and they drew the card that they sideboarded. This hand looks reasonable.
Yeah, both hands look good. Oh, sorry, the top hand does not look good. I thought that card on the left was a land, and it wasn't. So Girlfriend Bracket's going to mulligan here.
Into a decent hand if they find a plane. So if
Plains opens up this hand nicely.
They're going to need to get there with that scry.
I think you keep it.
Ooh. Looks like they decided to ship it back. All right, well, as long as they find enough pants for this Geist of St. Traft, I mean, they'll still do a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a good hand.
Yeah.
I mean, the Geist part is a good hand. Being able to cast a Geist on turn 3 is one of their most powerful plays.
Yeah. Ooh, Elite Inquisitor.
Oh, this is nice.
Yep.
Hey, another one.
Yeah.
But no white mana.
I don't think the play of Ghost courting your land for planes to play an Inquisitor is where you want to be. So
I think you're probably right. All right, so they're going to lead with Elite Inquisitor on Loading Ready Run side.
Got a lot of text on it. Vampires, werewolves, and zombies.
Yeah, it has protection from those, and then it's also got first strike and vigilance, and that's pretty huge here. The especially the first strike, it's just like it's going to hold back this Geist St. Traft until the girlfriend bracket finds pants, as it were.
Repelling deterrents? What is that in there for?
They do.
They must really like the
getting scared
hats.
by a zombie, and he's wearing a hat.
Guess so.
Hey, and it actually works. It hits non-creature permanents.
Oh, you okay? Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
can you imagine bouncing like a butcher's cleaver?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the biggest tempo hits you can get. Or, another one that could come up is if like the Geist gets one of the enchantments that puts him in the air,
There it is.
Oh,
the
combo
flavor.
assembled.
Combo, but they can't
But
attack.
they can't do anything with it really. Like they could get in for 8, but then just lose their Geist and have nothing.
Yeah, but sometimes, Marshall, it's about sending messages.
I think I actually like getting maybe going for an Elite Inquisitor here though.
Yeah. I don't think. Do they need 4 mana? I guess they have Audric.
Yeah, they do. I still think that just getting something down makes more sense. And it sucks to ghost quarter your own land. By the way, that's what Paul and I are discussing here is the merits of using your own ghost quarter on your own land so that you can go get a plains.
Right.
You can take a look at it. It's target land and its controller, so you can use it. It's just not what you really want to do generally, but they're starting to fall pretty far behind here on board at least.
Yep.
Especially depending on what loading ready run does for this turn. They're going to play a Bygone Bishop.
Yep. Bygone Bishop is every creature you play that costs less than 3 mana, you get to draw a card.
Check that out, Paul.
Oh, the Audric! There it is. There it is. Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's really funny. So we were hoping that they would get rid of a land to be able to play their 2-drop, and they're like, "Now we'll keep our lands in case we draw our 4." Boom, 4-drop.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're just playing to their outs. That's all.
Exactly.
All right. Loading ready one. Blazing Torch. Is there a hat on that one too?
Yeah.
Wait, why am I even asking that? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah, that's sorry, guys.
Confirm.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Dolly's Lieutenant, making
She's
all the
gonna come
creatures
down
large.
and actually give a really nice little attack here for the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And the Nearheath Pilgrim can also rumble.
Yeah, and
Around, of course, the Bygone Bishop, no problem. So yeah, I like this attack.
yeah, this is the Singleton hat stack.
The hat stack is kind of getting there.
Yeah.
Efro he's asking in the chat if this hat stack is modern playable.
Well, given my track record of all the terrible modern decks I've tried while I stream, I mean, I could just put this on the list.
This is in the hunt for maybe I'll stream in the future. I like it.
Yeah, why not?
I'm into it. Thraben Valiant.
What is that? 2 mana, 2/1 vigilance
Hat.
Wearer of hats.
Yeah, that's exactly
basically it. It's not a human, it's just 2 mana, 2/1 hat.
Hat, yeah. All right, and we actually do see this scenario come up. Spectral Flight has been drawn by the girlfriend bracket. The problem is that the life gain from that Nearheath Pilgrim has loading ready run at 30, and that in combination with the combo that you and I talked about earlier, Paul, the compelling deterrence to return the Spectral Flight to hand and then block the Geist is really going to make life difficult for the girlfriend bracket here.
Yeah, actually, I mean, this is setting up for a potential blowout where the girlfriend bracket is probably going to put a Spectral Flight on the Geist for defense. Then loading ready run is going to attack with everything and then bounce the Spectral Flight to kill the Geist.
Yeah, for whatever it blocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so tough.
I mean, they were probably super behind anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that this bounce spell is actually doing something.
Me too.
Tenacity. What does that do?
Here too. That's +1/+1 and lifelink plus untap all your creatures. And they can do it.
They have hats. And
They got
have
a lot of
too.
hats.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that the most number of hats on a card? That's 3, right?
Yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 on that one.
That's a lot of hats.
Yeah, that's a lot. Maybe Gather the Townsfolk has more.
Oh, Gathered Townsfolk's probably pretty good. Unruly Mob, maybe? Does that one have a bunch of hats?
Yeah, I bet it does. Townsfolk has 5. I count 5 just offhand.
5 hats. Well, I guess with the Devotion, you get 5 tokens. So
exactly.
As long as they all have hats.
And I only see 2, maybe 3 hats on Unruly Mob. So yeah, I'm going to give the nod to Gather.
Yeah. All right, sending in the team.
They attacked with everybody, right? Yeah, everybody's in the red zone.
The girlfriend bracket's just probably gonna block the 3/3 here.
Yeah, I think that's what you do.
And here it comes.
Oh, the blowout!
Oh God!
Oh,
Oh,
it
it feels
stings.
bad.
It hurts. It hurts real bad.
No. I suppose they could have also played tenacity. Because their creature has first strike. It's a 3/3.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's funny. Graham just let me know that ongoing investigation has like 8 hats. He mentioned that it doesn't fit in the deck, but it is in the deck.
I mean, it's got 8 hats. It's so many.
Yeah.
And singleton hats.
And that does it. Hats beats pants, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh man. And for those of us who make a lot of like Magic videos at home or podcasts, we know that this is the truth. Like pants, very optional. Are you wearing pants right now, Paul?
Am I wearing pants? Yes. I'm wearing pants. I have a little bit of self-respect.
You might not be. Are they sweatpants? Tell me if they're sweatpants.
They're not sweatpants. They're jeans.
Oh, wow. Got your stuff for the CSL. Thank you so much.
Well, I went from the stream straight into this. I'm not going to, I do have some sweat shorts somewhere lying around. I could change it to them. Some of my house shorts.
Let's keep the jeans for now. I like that. I like the full pants. Yeah, and so that does it for that round. Crazy stuff from those decks. They were 2 of the more tame decks. You can see that we're now 4/5 of the way through our night here on Community Super League, which leaves us with just 2 left. Aaron Forsyth and the Professor are getting ready to duel. We're going to get them set up on Magic Online in our feature and ready to go. And as you can see, Paul Cheon, you smashed me in our first match. Then Wedge won the blue-red mirror. Gabby Sparks
Thing of the ice mirror.
Kenji. Yeah, just beat him down. Turn 5 kill, including in game 3 against them. And then we just saw Loading Ready Run beat the girlfriend bracket with hats.
Yeah, apparently, for next week though, it looks like. I mean, I don't think they can run back Hat Tribal, right? So they're probably going to have to pick a different.
No, Hat is definitely not a tribe.
Yeah,
I also want to remind you at home, you get to vote on these as far as flavor or what else, sweetness. And you can
the Brewmaster standings.
Yes, the Brewmaster standings. Thank you, Paul. And those are going to be something that we're going to keep our eye on throughout the course of the CSL. And in fact, at the end, the person with the highest is going to be the Brewmaster, and they're going to get some special prizes and some cool stuff at the end of that too. So
I'm going to focus mostly on trying to win because I just my creativity is just way down here, as you guys can see. But I mean, like I said, I was talking to Marshall right before we went on. Next week, I promise I will try to make a very, very sweet deck. Because I want some points. Because the bottom of the standings, they don't get any points for the Brewmaster. I got to at least end the season with 1 point.
Maybe you should just try to win everything.
Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe just don't. I'm still trying to figure out if jellyfish is that a viable tribe?
Well, if you went Tribe Mana Wars, your deck would actually be very good.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. The problem is they haven't printed that many jellyfish, it turns out.
Yeah, I would guess that you really have a strange understanding of all the weird high creature types. Jellyfish and hats. You're very well versed in those.
Yeah, I'm more. I actually, those happen to be the only 2 that I actually know anything about.
Oh, okay. Marshall Sutcliffe, master of hats and jellyfish.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to do it though for round 4. Round 5 coming up soon, right after these messages.
Whether riding the bus